Everyone wants to be a leader, until they realize leadership under pressure doesn't give, it takes. It takes your time, your peace, your certainty. Marcus Aurelius called it the weight of responsibility, the true test of Stoic leadership, because every decision that shapes others quietly reshapes you. John was brilliant in his role, the one who could solve hard problems through deep thought, calm and disciplined. That brilliance got him promoted. But the moment he became a manager, everything changed.
We can't push the deadline again. Marketing won't accept it.
The Q3 projections are unrealistic given the current resource constraints. We need realignment.
His days became a blur of back-to-back meetings. He gave each one his full attention, trying to be thoughtful, fair, composed. But with every conversation, his energy drained like a leaking battery. By noon, half of him was gone. And when evening came, when the real work began, there was nothing left to give. He started to ask himself, why does success feel so heavy? Maybe I'm not built for this. That's when he discovered Marcus Aurelius, the ancient Stoic emperor who faced the same battle. How to stay calm under pressure, how to lead with discipline, how to find peace in chaos. Marcus Aurelius might have smiled at that thought. He, too, faced exhaustion and isolation, leading armies through plague and betrayal, and still found time to write. If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. Leadership, he knew, always comes with a price, the price of control, clarity, and composure. The three prices every leader pays. The emotional price, loneliness. Leadership often starts with connection and ends with isolation. When you lead, you can no longer think only for yourself. You begin to absorb the emotions of everyone around you, their stress, fears, and failures. This is the hidden side of leadership psychology. You carry more than your workload. You carry people's expectations, and every mistake becomes personal. John cared deeply about his team, too deeply. He couldn't delegate easily because he felt their struggle as his own. He didn't want to burden them, so he carried the extra weight himself. But empathy without Stoic perspective turns into exhaustion. Compassion without boundaries leads to emotional burnout. The Stoics would call this a failure of perspective, confusing what's yours to carry with what belongs to others. Marcus wrote, laying the foundation of emotional resilience, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That wasn't detachment. It was discipline. The Stoic mindset for professionals. The ability to feel deeply without drowning in the feelings of others, to remain unshaken. The world calls it pressure. The Stoics called it practice, because every demand that drains you is also training you for leadership under pressure. The moral price, integrity over approval. There's another cost, the price of integrity. Leadership doesn't just test your endurance, it tests your ethics. It often asks you to choose between being respected and being right, between looking good and doing good. John faced that choice. He could have approved a project that looked good on paper but would have hurt the team long term. He said no. That decision didn't make him popular, but it made him honest. He didn't get applause. He didn't get credit. But he got something more valuable: peace. As Marcus Aurelius taught in his leadership philosophy, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. This is the heart of Stoic leadership. Doing what's right, not what's easy. Real leadership is built in silence, in choices no one else sees. Because real leaders don't seek approval. They seek alignment between values and actions. And that silence, that's the moral price of leadership. What if leadership isn't about avoiding the weight, but learning how to carry it with calm and clarity? The personal price, peace for progress. When you lead, you lose the luxury of rest. Even when the world sleeps, your mind doesn't. It keeps calculating, planning, worrying. John tried to balance it all. Team, strategy, self-improvement, productivity, people, progress. But the more he gave, the less he had left for himself. He wasn't weak. He was simply paying the cost of caring. And this is where Stoicism becomes more than theory. It becomes survival. The Stoics didn't preach detachment to escape life. They practiced it to stay alive within it. They knew what John was learning, the Stoic strategy for mental clarity. Discipline isn't restriction, it's liberation. Write, reflect, reframe. Because Stoicism isn't escape, it's endurance. The ability to stay calm when everything else begs for reaction. Marcus Aurelius led Rome through war and plague, and practiced this daily through discipline and reflection. He ended his days not with complaint, but gratitude, because he saw every burden as training for virtue, every obstacle testing your calm, every pressure sharpening your leadership mindset. He learned that the obstacle is the way. You can't control the noise, but you can control the conductor. That's self-mastery, the essence of Stoicism for professionals. Silence isn't weakness, it's command. John thought he wasn't the man for leadership, until he realized leadership was shaping him into the man. Leadership will always come with a price. Your comfort, your time, your peace, your certainty. But every weight you carry builds endurance, inner discipline. Every hard day forges the calm that others depend on. Because every burden becomes a lesson. Every sacrifice becomes strength. Every test becomes training. The Stoics remind us, true leaders aren't fearless. They're simply grounded enough to face fear and keep going. Marcus Aurelius didn't lead through noise or pride. He led through calm and reflection with patience. He journaled his doubts, just like John, managed his stress, and turned pressure into purpose. He carried his burden not as punishment, but as practice. So, if you ever feel unseen, unheard, or unfit for the noise of leadership, remember this. That's the ultimate Stoic guide to leadership. To stay calm when others crumble, and lead from clarity, not chaos. The price of leadership isn't punishment. It's preparation, because every burden you carry is shaping the kind of leader the world needs. Steady, calm, and clear. True leadership doesn't cost you your peace. It teaches you how to create it. True leadership costs comfort, but rewards clarity.